All right, all right, all right, all right. Okay, let's get this going. So, hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Yesterday, guys, we got a little mic as well, so don't watch that. So I'm gonna be doing a live, okay, with my favorite people. Who I do a podcast with as well. So make sure you do check it out with Gsinapod. Today we're gonna have two of our favorite podcasters with us as well. That's gonna be Iffy and also Nana. You'll see their popular names that they go by as well. That's a bit underscore Iffy and Nana by nature. So as they come on, we'll get that kicking as well. So today's episode, we're going to be talking to you guys about exposing the game. It's called Social Media Pressure on Modern Day Dating. Yes, social media pressure on modern day dating. So the reason why we chose the topic, I really wanted to kind of just bring a bit more light to obviously the trends that we do see happening in our modern day society. So a lot of you guys may get your advice for dating on YouTube. You might get it on Twitter. You might get it on WhatsApp from your aunties and uncles. You might even get some advice on Snapchats and all this kind of stuff, and Instagram and all that. So we want to talk about some of the things that do happen on those social media platforms. So today we're going to be talking to you guys about the pressures of dating in terms of the bare minimum. You guys, have you heard that term? If you're on Twitter, you might have heard that term, the bare minimum. That just basically means when certain things are celebrated too much when they really ain't that great. You know what I'm saying? So so today, obviously, there's going to be that strong black woman we're going to deal with as well. We're also going to deal with dealing with first dates. I know you guys hear this all the time, but not necessarily just about who pays on the first date, but actually kind of like the excessiveness exposure when people put their actual what they've done on their day on social media. Should they do it? Should they not do it? Is it too much? We're gonna talk about obviously proposals on the social media as well, because I'm tired of seeing proposals. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Okay, I am not gonna lie. I am tired of seeing everybody's bloody proposal by London Bridge, okay, outside on one knee, telling us how great their partner is. Okay, I'm not a hater. Okay, I just hate to see the same thing over and over again. Yeah, I need somebody to parachute outside of a plane, land next to their missus, okay, and then say, "Can you marry me?" I need something different. I need a Toblerone going across the sky. I need something different. Okay, I need y'all to do something a bit more creative, because the London Bridge thing is washed. Yeah, it's washed. I want something different. Someone propose underneath the water or something. Give us something different. So yeah, we're going to talk about all of that as well going forward as well. So guys, I hope you like my little mic that I got going on as well. Had to buy a little mic to make it a little bit more clearer for you guys. Give you guys a little bit something different. My ring light unfortunately went to my mother's house, so unfortunately it hasn't come through. I can see one of my podcasters is in the background if he's waiting. I don't know where Nana got lost. She seems to be in space at the moment. I think hold on a minute. She said so. Oh, okay, she's just doing some social media stuff for us. She's just really just kind of trying to big us up. So someone said in the comment section, I'm sick of it, and I'm sick of it. It's too boring. Absolutely. We're tired. Listen, every time I go on Twitter, and you know what the worst thing is? That you see the amazing proposal. They've gone and bought a sick cameraman, yeah, and they are showing us. So even Paris, yes, Paris is another one that's ruined. Paris is another one that's ruined. You see them there. Oh my God! Listen, as a lady, you're looking at the thing, going, "There's a cameraman, there's Paris, and he's now standing there. What do you think is going to happen? You know what I'm saying? What do you think is going to happen?" So yeah, we're gonna deal with all of that. Have a real discussion about it. Also, guys, if you guys got some comments, some questions also as well that you guys want to ask, please comment in the comment section. Share this live, like it as well, okay? Because we need to get the schematics, the analytics, get it going. You understand? So it also helps as well. I'm not ashamed to tell you guys, okay? Yeah, I want my money. I'm not gonna lie with you guys. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on my lovely podcasters. I hope their audio is working great. It was working before, but you never know. Sometimes it can go wiggity back. You know what I'm saying? Wiggity back. All right, let's get into this. Do you know what? I think it's the mic, it's getting me gassed. I think it's the mic. When I'm holding it, I feel different. Like, I feel like I'm ready to do, listen, Today, Koja, I'm gonna be, you know what I mean? Like stars in the ice. Okay, let me stop. All right. Let me back up. Let me stop. All right, cool. So I'm gonna bring on our lovely podcasters as well, G's in a pod, and let them introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about themselves, where they're from, what they're about. Okay, and then we're gonna kick it off as well onto the conversation. Please, as well, guys, make sure you like on the stream, share it with somebody as well. We're gonna get it cracking. All right. This is sound quality. Yes, Fiona, thank you. I can't. You know what? I had to up it for myself. You understand? I have to give you guys proper things. Tomorrow, the lighting's gonna improve too. Don't worry. You understand? We're gonna do it. All right, cool. I'm gonna introduce Iffy. I'm gonna bring on Iffy first, and then we're gonna bring on Nana as well to introduce herself. All right. Hello, madam.
Hi, everyone. Hey. I've just seen Fiona's comment about the sound quality, and I hope I'm not disgracing us here. I hope I sound
Listen,
right
darling,
too.
it's not about you. Don't worry. It's not about you. Don't worry.
It's true. It's about you.
Yeah, I'm saying
with your mic.
it's not about me. It's about me.
But yeah, hey everyone. I'm
Mm-hmm.
Iffy. That's a bit iffy. Yeah, one of the G's in the pods. I went on hiatus. They said free Iffy, and I got free just in time for this live. So yeah. What am I meant to say? I feel really nervous, guys.
Just like what do you do? What do you do for work? You know, what are you about? What's your interest? What's a little bit of hobby? Just give a little something so we can get to know. You know, somebody here could be a husband. You don't know. They're watching.
Doubt it, seriously.
Look at the smile, lovely, isn't it?
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm a teacher. I teach in secondary school. I heard there's people from America here, so that is middle high school, I think. Yeah. What else? Yeah, teach English. What am I about? I like singing. I like being a facilitator. So that just means like helping people with their stuff. So yeah. Hi Fiona. Hi everyone that's saying hi in the comments. Yeah, and the other thing that I'm part of, like I just said, is G's in a Pod. Podcast just about general life. Where I'm a Christian, so it's literally just like what's going on with Christians discussing these things, but not a Christian podcast, if that makes sense, because some things have these labels and you're just like, But yeah, that's it. I like to sing as well. I don't know about doing all the riffs and runs that Kojo does, but yeah, that's it. I'm gonna stop now. I feel very awkward and I feel like I'm talking too much.
Nothing at all. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. We love that, guys. That was Iffy as well. All right, as she's
also,
a lovely person.
Sorry to interrupt.
Go on, Iffy. Go on,
Iffy with a Y. So
yeah.
My name's Ifoma fully. And if I is Ife, and I'm not Ife, I'm Iffy. But yeah.
Lovely.
Clear that up.
Appreciate that, If. And now we're going to also introduce Nana as well. So I'm going to click on her and just add her to the conversation. Hopefully she won't be too loud, guys. You know, she's a live wire, this one is. Yeah.
What? Nah, he's trying it. First of all, can you guys hear me? I hope you guys can hear me.
We can hear you.
Why did you say it like that?
Well, like what?
Hey.
You were just like, he's a wild one. Oh yeah, we can hear you.
Are you not a wild one? Did you not come on the screen like a wild one?
I think I'm the calmest out of all of us, to be real honest. Out of all of us on the pod, I
actually think quite
I'm
loud actually.
If he came on a calm one, like, hey guys, Nana came with, what? Are you alright? I said, what?
No, you're trying it.
That's why she's frozen.
You were here for my lawyer. You were here for my lawyer's defamation of character. Hi guys. I can't see any of the comments, but all I know is that Fiona should not be out here gassing Kojo. That's the first thing I'm going to say before I carry on, okay?
Fiona, keep gassing me, please. Thank you. Keep gassing me.
Yeah, so my name's Nana. Hi, everyone. I'm one of the hosts for G's in the Pod. I was a flight attendant until COVID-19 had other plans. What else do I do? Yes, I'm a podcaster. I am a facilitator as well, I guess. I sing. I would say I'm a part of a choir, but even that within itself is the but like I don't do that face. But yeah, just a bit about the podcast in general. I think our main thing is us as Christians having conversations that we feel that the church doesn't usually have or kind of shies away from. And I just think it's important conversations that should be out in the open and Christians should be free to have, especially Christians in our generation, just so that there's not generation after generation of conversations that I never had, and then we're just doing the same things over and over again and going through the same issues over and over again. So yeah, like, I don't know what else you want me to say. I feel like there's nothing else very much for me to say.
You're good.
Cool.
You're good. Live wire, you're good.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, that's all.
Comments, guys.
How can you see these comments? No, let me.
Lola's in the comments.
Lola's in the comments, but she's not on the live. She will see my fire. She will see my fire. She'll see my fire. All right. So as
your name is instead of a Y. My name is N to the A to the A.
So today's topic, obviously, we are talking about obviously social media pressures on modern day dating. Okay. So I think the very things we're going to talk about, do you know what? I want to start strong because this is my favorite topic. I want to talk about the proposals that I keep seeing on my social media platform. Let me start strong. Okay. Because I have a very strong opinion on this.
I thought you were going to start with paying on the first date, but go ahead. Listen,
I can't be strong on that anymore. I've paid on the first date now, so I'm no longer strong. So
I just said he would never.
I don't
said he would never. Let me tell you something. When love enter your eye, everything you say will do got the window, mate.
It all goes.
When you said it, all of us are looking at each other sideways, like, okay. All right.
We don't have to discuss that. We don't have to discuss the first date situation. We don't. So obviously, with social media, obviously, there's a lot on social media. There's a lot that happens. Okay, there's a lot of voices that take place. There's a lot of opinions and a lot of, I guess, different ideas that people subscribe to. Okay, and obviously, you know, when it comes to dating, because there's so many different voices, different opinions, there can be a lot of different viewpoints on different subjects. One of the things I like to talk about is the fact that there is a lot of pressure, I guess, on the modern day wedding. So we're talking about proposals and we're talking about weddings, because you guys know about the term Bella Niger. Okay. And when you see that on your TL, that can be a very, 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 very heavy pressure on anybody who's seeking to get married, because if you're not doing it at this level, you ain't doing it at all. So I don't know. I mean, do you guys feel that pressure to, let's say, do the proposal on your, do the proposal by London Bridge, get the cameraman to do the video, everything like that, and then also make sure your wedding is better than Niger? Do you feel that pressure to do that kind of thing? Do you subscribe to that?
If you want to go first,
it makes me want to even less. Generally, I'm not like a big grand gesture person. Like, everyone who knows me knows that when people are talking about their weddings, I'm like, you think I'm joking when I say I'll tell my mum we're going on holiday. I'll open the curtain and be like, oh my gosh, mum, there's a wedding set up there. Your dress is in the wardrobe. You've got 25 minutes. Let's go. Like, that will literally be me. I'm not one for that. And like, I've said it enough times to my mum that she even tells my aunties now when they're telling me I've got a gele for this and I've got material for that. And she's like, nah, they're going to elope. She's going to elope when the time comes. So seeing all of that stuff, I didn't even follow Bella Niger on Instagram. Like, I don't. So seeing all of that stuff for me, I'm just like, oh, that's really nice. But it doesn't make me want it. It doesn't make me think, oh, this is what it should be like for me. And I think that that's something that we've lost in this day and age. When we see stuff, we think that that is the norm and that's what it has to be for everybody. Whereas for me, and this is not raining on anybody's like method of proposing or anything like that, please don't get me wrong. You see how you have to all the disclaimers, because this can't be edited, it's live, isn't it? When I see it, it literally just as much as I'm like, oh, that's really lovely, I also feel like I would hate this with every fiber of my being if it happened to me as well. So that's me on that. Like, it doesn't at all.
No.
Yeah, no.
So
Hey, Dallas connections always doing
Um,
scoot whoop.
you can't say that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go on.
Okay, can
Can you
you
hear me?
now?
We can hear you. Go on.
Now we can.
For the people that have known me for a while, they'd know that I'm never the sort of person to be like, oh, this is the type of wedding that I want, this is the type of proposal that I want, this is the cut of the ring. I know that there's a lot of girls that are like that, and I don't think that there's anything. I personally don't feel like there's anything wrong with that. If you want what you want, that's fine. Up until a certain point, I can say more recently, I've kind of sat down, I've kind of thought, oh, like that would be nice, or that ring would be nice, or that proposal would be nice, and only as I see them. So the Bella Niger thing, I remember there was a point where I was following Bella Niger and seeing all these like proposals, only because I just kind of thought I liked the culture. I liked the way that they came across, like seeing all these, like I'm gonna sound like a now, all these vibrant, bright colours and all these dark. I'm joking, but I'm not joking. Like I actually like seeing like the dances. I like seeing like only because it was just nice to see. But then it got to a point where I was like, oh, like would I want something like that? Or there was points where I was saying, oh, it has to be like this, and I think that's where it goes wrong. I think that's where it becomes a problem, when you start to think whoever is proposing to you or whoever's trying to marry you has missed the mark simply because it's not like how someone else has done it. Like, so people always say comparison's the thief of joy, and it really is the truth. Like, you're gonna miss that moment because it's not looking like the way that you want it to look like. You're gonna miss the point of this person loving and adoring and showering you with love simply because it's not how the way that you wanted it to look. So that's really my take on it. I had to unfollow Bella Niger because it was getting a bit much, and they posted a lot. Like, they posted a lot. I don't know if it's because the algorithm changed, but they posted plenty of times a day. So I kind of had to unfollow because it was just getting a bit much. But yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Obviously, again, I think that's interesting because obviously social media, what you're saying may not align with what you normally see on social media. So like no one, you might never see someone say, I want a Bella Niger wedding. But the idea of a wedding, for instance,
I feel like I've heard that though. I've heard I've heard at least one girl say that. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I don't follow them.
And people kind of buy and look for things that will, or do things that they know, okay, if I have this cake, I'll be featured on Bella Niger. If I buy, like, it happens.
That's okay, so that's what I was gonna say.
I genuinely do think that there's people out there that are, sorry, I feel like there are women out there that are like very much down to the T. We're going to do it, like, even if they didn't want it in the first place, we're going to do a dance, a choreographed dance. We're going to make sure that we look like this. We're going to step like this, only because they've tried so hard. Like, they're trying so hard to get onto these pages. And that, for me, like, really and truly sounds like a sickness. I'm not going to lie to you. It sounds like a sickness. Because why is it that your life has to incorporate social media so badly that, do you know what I mean? Like, for me, it's not normal, but each to their own. Like, I don't know, maybe they get paid for it. I don't know. Like, maybe there's money involved and I don't know about it.
Well, I guess obviously because I think we all human beings, we all seek validation in different ways, isn't it? So I guess the Bella Niger wedding is a part of that validation to, you know, to be plauded and to be, you know, like, whoa, like you've done something like amazing that people want to be a part of. For me, I think I'm just looking at an aspect of the fact that, okay, we're kind of grown now, so I guess we can have sensible conversation where we're not, obviously we grew up with social media, but we talk outside of social media. But then you get a lot of people who are 19, 20, 21 who are, you know, I'm not going to say social media is their life. Yeah, you know, I wanted to not say that, but you know, a lot of life is inside of, you know, the phone that's inside their hands, and so therefore the ideas are also quite similar. So let me even ask a question. Okay, so maybe you might not want a Bella Niger wedding, but I mean, in terms of spending money on a wedding, Okay.
No.
How much are we talking for you? Are we looking at the 20K, 30K, 40K, 50K, 60K kind of wedding? Now, what are we talking about
Listen,
here,
I don't even
baby?
know. I
We're
don't
talking
even
about
know how.
deposits, Kojo. We're talking
Deposits.
about deposits, Kojo.
Facts. Facts.
60K
Deposit.
deposits.
Mortgage
If
deposit.
I went all
60K.
the way up north,
But
that's deposit for more than one house. What are you talking about?
it's a lot. I think for me, my thing is I would spend money on making sure that the memory is there. Does that make sense? Like I'd spend money on, like, as petty as it may sound, on the way that I look, only because I want to be able to look back at my wedding and be like,
Yes. Snatched.
like, you know what I mean? Like, I would spend my money. I spend my money on stuff like that. In terms of like having 100, 200, 300, 5,000 people to feed, I don't think that would be a priority for me. Like the number of people, as long as it's my loved ones, that's fine. I don't have bare people at my wedding. I just kind of feel like as long as I would spend the money on making sure when I look back at my wedding, it is still a dream for me. Like it's still my dream wedding in 25, 50 plus years after that. So that is what I spend my money on.
Yeah, I think what we need to remember as well is whichever way you slice and dice it, weddings are expensive. Like they genuinely are, and I think it should be an amount that you are happy to spend that doesn't break your bank. Because when you're hearing people are taking out 4, 5, 6 credit cards, maxing out their credit cards for their wedding, and if the motivation for the wedding isn't this is a day I want to remember, this is a day I want to celebrate with my loved ones, and it's more I need to pepper them, I need to show people that this is what I could afford and this is what I could do. Because I feel like a lot, I can't speak for everybody, but the way it looks, it feels as if a lot of people are like, I need to do a one up. I need to one up this person. I need to show that my wedding was able to make it to all of these pages, you know. And I'm seeing in the comments people like, we want Bella Ghana, Bella Togo, Bella wherever. Yeah, people are there like, this is what we want to make sure that we're on and people can see our wedding. And I feel that if that is a shared motivation between the two partners, then go off, man. You guys enjoy yourself.
Fine.
For me, like I like I said, I told you guys before, I will elope. It will be like 25 people at my wedding, and everybody can be very angry with me. I don't care, because that's what I want. And even as I say that, let's say and sometimes I'm in two minds. Like when I go to my friends' weddings, and even when there's because I feel like in our culture, 100 guests is a small wedding.
Agree that.
Yeah. Even if it's a small wedding. So even when I go to weddings where there's like 100 guests, 200, however many people, and you're there at the day and you're looking around, like part of me is always like, oh, like this would be so nice if I can have all of my loved ones there as well. And then when you're behind the scenes at a wedding and you're hearing the stress, I'm like, nah, man, I don't want that. I know that the last thing I want to do on my wedding day is stress.
Window. What else? Whatever else? Who eats first? Who eats last? Is the
ice sculpture got delivered somewhere else? Like all these things that happen when you're saying these tables have to eat, and then everyone's just getting up like, no, I'm gonna eat anyway. The party,
all of that.
And I think my main thing on my wedding day, I just don't want to be stressed. I don't want anybody else to be stressed. And I feel like the more money you spend, the more things you have. It's not necessarily the more money you spend, but money correlates to things, isn't it? The more things you have, the more possibility for things to go wrong. And I'm just, no, you know? And remember that it is one day. As much as you want to document the day, it is one day. Like that's the beginning of your life with somebody, you know?
So 60,000 deposit.
And I think listen,
to begin your life.
That's 2 deposits. That might even be 3 deposits. Let's be honest. Do you know what I mean? So you have to think of it like this. Otherwise, you go crazy. You forget. You know. And I think that's the main thing is as long as you are happy with that and knowing that this is a possibility, the more things you have, the more things that could go wrong. Boy.
You know what? I work with that, and I rock with that.
Times.
I rock with that, and I
And
think
even now, yeah.
go on.
Sorry, with COVID,
No, go on.
like you know how loads of people's weddings had to be either postponed, they had to have
Yeah, all
smaller
cut down.
weddings, they had to like
Yeah.
go to the registry office before it closed down, all of that stuff. I was like, this is my dream because there'll be no aunties or uncles
I'm with
angry
you.
with me because you can't come. The
I'm
government
with
said
you.
you can't come. If you're upset, go to Boris. I can't. Do you know what I mean? I was literally there like, this would be my dream.
I agree with you. And do you know what? I even thought about myself, and then I said, obviously, I'm not ready. But you know, I think obviously because because obviously 60K is. I mean, we making jokes and everything, but we're being very real as well. So there's £60,000. I'm saying this because obviously people who are younger may not understand this. Obviously, for us who get older, we can understand this a bit more. Have a bit more. I don't want to say sense, but we have a bit more understanding that.
A bit more. I think
60,000
logic
is a lot.
I know logic sounds harsh, but it's like.
You can say it.
Can you hear me?
Well, we can hear it.
No, like, it's
drop
just,
it.
I was like saying that we can think of it logically because we're older, isn't being harsh. It's just because when you're younger, you're just so filled with like hope and dream that you're like, I've got so much time, I've got so many resources, I've got so much life. So why not spend that much money on a wedding? I believe at 20, I thought I was going to be married by 25. I'm 26.
I'm telling you.
I'm nowhere near y'all. So it's kind of like now we can kind of sit back and look at it and just be like, okay, 60,000 is mad, especially because now the money that I make means that if I have to start dividing and subtracting and doing the mathematics, 60,000 adds up. Like the money adds up. Do you get? So yeah, like.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it does. Again, I'm trying not to be harsh. I don't like to say logic. I like to say, look, you know, you have different priorities that begin to take shape and take hold of your life, and then you start to realize 60K on a house 60K on a wedding may not be the best choice for you. And okay, let's talk about obviously
an entire house for that, guys.
You can do more than renovate. You can do more than renovate. You can do more than renovate. You can remove all the floorboards, everything. You understand?
Right. Trust me.
Victorian into a modern house, please. I'm telling you. But okay, so before we even get to weddings, before we even set to, there was a part before that. What is the obsession behind this whole document your proposal? Like, this is really something that for me wasn't happening. Obviously, social media is quite fresh. Obviously, we started on I started on MSN. So MSN, MySpace, you know what I'm saying? Like, none of that stuff was happening there. Bebo, some people might have been untagged, you know, those some other hidden ones that were there. So like we weren't of the age anyway. But it seems like obviously I'm trying not to be a hater, guys. But
we saw it develop. We saw it take shape
every time.
And
it takes shape.
The thing is, you know what I find so crazy about it is I kind of found that the very early ones were, because they went viral, people were now making, they started like advertising stuff. Like, money started to come out of it, and it was like, oh, like we can make a queen out of this. Like we can start funding our wedding off of this. We can start saving for a deposit or whatever. So I feel like it started from there, and then it just kind of went crazy because even like prom proposals or whatever they call it in America. You Americans, just start dropping your comments now because I'm about to come for your prom proposals. Yeah, I've never understood them. Like I've never understood it. Like you're in school. You're a teenager. You're in school. Just go and ask the girl. She's right there. You mind if, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. So I just like the obsession with proposals and putting it online is more for popularity and for people to see, oh my gosh, wow, this person did this, and then it's on top of that, kind of having your name attached always to that, and I think that can become a problem, especially when or if things don't work out, it's gonna be like, oh, like, aren't you the guy that proposed to so and so? Oh, like, how are you guys doing now? Oh, we're not together anymore. I swear down, that's so
I
so
saw one
sad.
of those.
And then it's like, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
It's very awkward. I've seen that.
I see
Go on,
Esther's
if.
comment here. It is very, like Esther's comment says, I think documenting your engagement is very romantic. Great piece to be able to look back at and reminisce. And I 100% agree. I think that it's the sharing it with strangers.
Okay, so
Or,
private things.
Do you know what? Do you think though that people intend or think that it will get as big as they do when they put them on their thingy? Because I
think
don't know
now
that
they do.
everybody does.
I think now they do.
But I don't think that everybody does. You know, like some people, their things go viral, and
That's
they're
true.
just like, "Right, we went viral." Whereas other people are like, "We must go viral." Do you think can we tell the difference between those two things? Can you really?
You know what? The funny thing is,
you know what I mean? I think that's one of the questions to ask.
One of the things that I kind of noticed is, especially since like I've jumped on TikTok now, which I regret, but at the same time I don't. I jumped on TikTok, and you know, there's always like a couple, like couples doing like, you know, even with the record your partner's reaction to you,
to the YouTube, becoming
stuff like that. I see stuff like that, and I'm just like, I can tell that this is planned. Like, I can tell that this is fake, and I can tell that this is planned. And you really did all of this just so that you can be like, like people are gonna LOL and move on. Like, and for me, stuff like that is strange for me. Like, it's weird for me. But do you know what I mean? I feel like because I can tell that it's fake. Can other people tell that it's fake? And why do they still go viral, even though we all know that this was all planned? Like,
because you only need to watch it one time and then be like, "Right, that's fake," but it's too late now because.
And then you share it as well because it's fake.
It's true. They've got the views, and then you share like, "Look how fake this is," and they go viral. They got the views, and you know what? You're right. And I think this whole thing started with things like reality TV, like Big Brother, like documenting and showing everything. Because we're still young, but we're old enough to remember not having a phone. We're old enough to remember social media not existing at all, you know? And I always say that, is it that even things like these proposals, is it that it's now that we're seeing them, we're like, this is excessive? Because if in 2002, someone did a massive proposal, we just wouldn't know about it because it wouldn't have gone viral. Do you know what I mean? You know, because we're all of your friends. It's like
it would have been their memory. It would have been their memory, and it would have been nice for them to like share. It would have been their thing, and I feel like that's what's missing. Like I feel like the world has not had that in such a long time. Like something so private that is not shared. People's most intimate moments are always being recorded, like, and I have a problem with that. Like, I find it so strange. Like, even down to
it's a reflex.
the other day when Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, like died, and someone put up, I think it was even Halle Berry that put up her son's reaction, a picture of her son's reaction to him dying. I was just like,
we don't see that.
Like the poor baby, like I literally went to hug the child, but I was thinking the mum is physically there, like put down the camera and go hard because he's hurt sort of thing. So that's just kind of my thing. Like, no one has intimate moments privately anymore, and that's it. It's weird.
And that's the truth. Nothing is private. Everything is public. Because let's say that someone has decided they're going to propose, you know, because you were talking about London Bridge. Someone's decided they're going to propose on London Bridge or on the Embankment. I don't know, all these nice places in London that I never go to. Let's pretend someone's going to propose there, and they've said, you know what? They know their fiance, whatever. They know that she would want her best friends and her parents there, and his best friends there. So that's who he asked to come. He knows that he wants it documented, so he asked a photographer to come and take photos, right? And now he does that, but all the best friends now, as soon as he comes out, now bring out their phones, record it, put it on Instagram, put it on Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever else, and from their accounts it goes viral. That is that there is the one where we can't really, you can't really be like, oh, rah.
Right.
It's gone viral.
Exactly.
It wasn't really, it wasn't his intention in the first
Yeah,
place.
right.
Do you know what I mean? It wasn't his intention for that to happen. So for things like that, and most people, when they go to these places, like I remember my friend, when he proposed to his wife now, they went somewhere. We were living in Birmingham at the time. They went to London because of that specific. That was their place where they had their first date, whatever. So I feel like a lot of these places have sentimental significance for the couple
I
and so on
agree.
and so forth. And it was literally just them. It wasn't a public proposal. It was him, it was her, and it was the photographer. And I remember she was telling me a story. She thought like a homeless man was following them around because the photographer was trying to do incognito. She was like, I thought it was just a homeless man like following us or like walking near us. But anyway, like with that, it was the sentimental value that meant that they drove from Birmingham to London to go to this place so that they could have their proposal wherever their first date was. But then we do have this other side where it seems that people are literally thinking, okay, if we go viral with this proposal, maybe we can get endorsements from XYZ, 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 XYZ for
Right.
our wedding. My
Right.
question to you guys, if it is in, let's pretend where people who feel this way, if necessary to secure the bag, would you do it?
It's just, if it's a guaranteed that I'm securing the bag, or if I'm
It's a 50-50 chance that you'll secure the bag. You'll get at least one, maybe two endorsements from someone for your actual wedding.
First of all, it depends on who that someone is. Because if Range Rover now turns around,
the wedding dress will be paid for and the venue will be half price.
I'd say yeah. Only because it's benefiting me and my other half. It's not. I feel like there's some people that do it just out of the excitement, out of the endorphins, out of the whatever it is, to be known as that person that had the proposal, to be known as that person that went viral and all that jazz. Like for me, if I'm going to be saving money out of it, yeah, like why not? And 9 times out of 10, like you said, right now it's so normal for our like proposals to be going on online anyway. So why not slap it on and go get your money? Slap it on and go get your whatever it is. Do you get? Like that's what it is for me anyway.
Okay, and another question, Kojo, would you do it if the wedding dress will be paid for and the venue's going to be half price, because the venue's like basically, and the food are the most
majority of the money? Yeah.
I think it depends on who's going to be sponsoring it and what kind of endorsement they're actually giving in terms of what kind of exposure they're going to bring to my actual wedding. Because I'm quite a private person when it comes to relationships. I don't want that. I was going to say that. I don't want that stuff plastered on social media. I don't want it plastered on them kind of things. As much as I do YouTube and stuff like that, what I've learned about relationships is that the moment I give you guys that kind of access, there's an expectancy that comes with it.
Do you know? The thing is, I was gonna speak on that. I remember when Jackie Aina had her proposal. I was gonna say what I liked about her one was that it was. To be fair, I didn't even look in, but what I remember is that they had like a little camera person following her when she had her proposal, and that seemed very small and intimate. And then she revealed it. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that, especially as her relationship is quite public. Like we all know that she's with someone. Like she shares her life with people anyway. So I feel like the way that she did it makes a lot more sense for me. And Jackie Aina is going to get the endorsements. Like she's gonna get endorsements. She's gonna get people hounding her. She already knows like that sort of thing's already sorted. But I think the way that they did it, like no one went live for their proposal. Like no one like recorded every single video, recorded every single step. She didn't plaster it on as soon as it happened. She did give it time, stuff like that. She still let the intimate moment still be an intimate moment. And I feel like people do feel like they're entitled to these like YouTubers, like people feel like they're entitled to their lives and entitled to know about their relationship status and stuff like that, when really and truly, unless they put it out there, I don't feel is right. Like I don't feel like That's just me.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head with the word entitlement. We because of the fact that we have such access to people. Do you know what I mean? You know, when like someone can be talking about so and so influencer, and you're like, oh, let me just go. You can literally search on
You
Instagram,
can
find it, and
literally
see, oh,
Mm.
what they've been posting on their story today. Do you know what I mean? You look at
quick.
the background of it, like, oh my gosh, they must be in London Bridge. Do you know what I mean? We
Yeah.
have such access to people that we have this sense of entitlement, and you see it when you have all these social media couples, social media influencers, when they break up. And then it's like, okay, they've gone quiet. Everyone's like, what do you mean? No, you need to tell me what happened, because we were with you in the ins and outs of your relationship. Now that relationship is on the outs, you need to tell me what's going on. You know what I mean? Oh, you had a baby. Why don't you want to show us what your baby looks like?
Yeah.
Why don't you want to show us your baby? We've seen everything. Do you know what I mean? And we need to understand that we are not entitled. Nobody owes
Listen,
you
my life
anything.
is my life.
Nobody owes you anything.
Like my life is my life. Whatever I feel like, whatever I put out there is what you're going to get. Either take it or leave it. Like literally, like you only know. I feel like people on my social media will only know as much as I tell them. There's no way no one can ever press me into giving them any more. I always say that people on my Twitter don't know if I'm single, taken, or married, because really the way that I tweet, you will never know.
It's true. It's true.
You will never know. And up until the point where I share that with people, up until the point where I let other people know, they're not entitled to that. You're not allowed access to it.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Yeah,
One
I agree with that.
Absolutely. And it's just literally about protecting your space.
Fiona put something earlier about like hashtags.
Mm.
I wanted to know what you lot's opinion was on that, because like,
do you know what's interesting? Because my boy did did the proposal was it 2 years ago? Did it in Birmingham actually, filmed it and everything, but the filming didn't go out. It was amongst those who were actually there. So like for me, I don't mind. Again, I want to clear this up for people. I don't mind if you film it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the sharing. Like you've basically, what we've done is taking your photo album that you'd have normally in your house, okay, and going to the whole street and said, listen, come and see the photos that I've got, guys, of what happened to me, this, that. And you know what? And it started obviously from the fact that we had Facebook and stuff like that, where we all did it. We all just shared every single photo we've ever been in, every party, every event that we've been to. And so it kind of just flows on to like sharing parts of your intimate life in terms of like your wedding and stuff like that. For me, why I don't like it is because of it's something that, you know, is meant to be intimate between the two of you.
Yeah.
And between those who are obviously caring for your relationship, because as much as obviously I have an audience and everyone may care for me as an individual, let me tell you something, y'all ain't gonna be there when I'm having my bad days with the missus or good days. You're not gonna see all of that. You know what I'm saying? You're only gonna see, you're not there, and you know what I'm saying? Like I can't invite you to there every single. So like I just believe that because we're part of a social media age, everybody there's a mindset that is I've got to share everything, and I really believe that we've got to strip it back in order for our relationships to really survive. 100%. To actually say, listen, do you know what? Some parts of my life I'm going to keep it private. It reminds me of the Prince Harry and Meghan. Was it Prince Harry? Sorry, not Meghan Married. Was it who recently had a child? Was it William and Kate?
No, it was. Are you talking about Prince Harry and Meghan when she didn't want to come out?
Yeah, well, it was Prince Harry. Yeah, sorry, my bad. Yeah, when they had the child and they didn't want to show the kid. I didn't care, bruv. Listen, it's your child. Why are you forced to show me your child?
And people were crying at the mouth.
Like honestly,
at the mouth, like that is the royal baby. We want to see it now.
I think the person's baby now belongs to us. Like, all right.
We paid for that baby when we paid for your wedding. That was literally people's thing. It's entitlement. It's the entitlement. And you know what, Pedro, what you said is so poignant. Like the whole sharing thing. I think that if you wouldn't, you know how like when you go to central London, yeah, there's people trying to share their CDs and their mixtapes even now. Like, would you stand on a corner with pictures of whatever moment it is that you're sharing and be like, oh, here you go, here you go, here you go. And I feel like if you ask yourself that question, I think you'd
Good
think
question.
twice about what you post online. If you
Right.
ask yourself, would I stand on a corner and just give this to strangers as they walk by? If your answer is no, then have a think about whether you want to be putting that out there on social media. And you know what? One thing that one of my friends did at their wedding, which I definitely want to do, they had a what did they call it? An unplugged ceremony. So
Oh
the
wow,
whole ceremony was that no phones, no nothing. Please just let
love
the
it.
photographers do their work. And do you know what my shock was? It's the fact that people actually kept their phones away. Remember, there's aunties and uncles in this piece.
Mm,
And I was just like, you see that right there? That is love. Because the fact that all the people that you had at your wedding respected the fact that you wanted an unplugged ceremony. Like, do you know what I mean? I think that that was beautiful. And that's something I want to do is be like, do you know what? No first. And they were like, at the reception, you know, if you want to do whatever, that's cool. But for the ceremony, with the I do's, the walking down the aisle, the preaching, the sing, all of that stuff, they were like, we want it completely unplugged. And one thing that I noticed when I you know, when you go to it, when you see stuff, is the when you're looking at what the official photographers are doing, and there's always a phone, an iPad, or your auntie
mm.
Yeah,
has the iPad,
yeah,
an
that's true.
iPad in the crowd, and it's just like
Just
this just looks
brilliant.
ugly, man. Innit?
It's the
Honestly,
iPad. It's the
I
iPad for me.
iPad anti.
exactly, and then they'll come up to the front, you know, in front of the
I know.
cameraman, the official cameraman that you're paying $1 for, and be like, no, I need to take this. Move. I need to take this picture.
Listen,
But I think, yeah, I think that's one thing. I think it's good to be able to document that thing. Do you know what I mean? Like document your proposal and stuff for yourselves privately to share with your family. Do you know what I mean? And have it there, of course, because I'm sure that this happened before the time of social media. But again, if you wouldn't stand on a street corner and give videos of you proposing or your whatever, your wedding, your naming ceremony, don't even come to me with gender reveals. Let's just not even go there.
Okay, that's
listen,
not.
Because
I
it
didn't
shouldn't
even
go
go, but
on.
that's another one. That is another one that it frustrates the life out of me. Absolutely frustrates the life out of me. Do you know why? Why do I need to know what your child's gonna look? Listen, there's just too. Listen, we're in an age. This it's just too much access. Like I don't. When I see, I'm like, what? Why do I see a lot of this stuff? I really believe psychologically, a lot of us are narcissistic. We've got traits. Bear in mind, narcissism is on a scale. So there's a lot of us are bottom scale. Do you know what I mean? Like we want this like craving of attention because I don't understand why you knowing what your boy or girl is, you have to come and tell me this news. Like I don't need to know. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and this is like I'm saying, like it's, and I'm gonna probably go a little one step further, and you may agree, not agree. I love seeing these videos where a little kid is funny, whatever. But the day and age that we're in, too much exposure. Let that kid be a kid.
That's a really good point.
Let that kid be a kid.
I do think that putting kids out on social media is, for me, I can't do it. Even down to like, you know, those parents that have their kids have their own Instagram. I don't understand that. Personally, don't get it. Like my mummy took me to the park. Like, it's you.
I can't run by mummy and daddy.
We know it's you. Please stop doing this.
We know it's your parents because you're 6 months old, so you definitely didn't type that caption.
My mummy took me to the zoo today. Like, let's not do that like that. And I feel like having kids out on social media is very dangerous. Very like, let's not like. I feel like a little funny video. Oh, my kid did this, or like, oh, like, do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Little small, even milestones. Oh, it was my child's 2nd birthday or whatever it is. I feel like that's fine, but I feel like people do take it to the extreme and they take it one step extra, and they're like, the baby has its own Instagram account and all of that.
Yeah, even when you think about things that are funny that are happening, that are happening.
No, go for it.
Let's say you're out to dinner with your friend. Everyone's phone is on the table, and the first thing that happens when someone's doing something funny, what you do? Oh, no, I wasn't quick enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, like you literally whip out your phone to record it. We're sick, man. It's a sickness.
We are.
It's actually
honestly
a sickness.
We are. Because if you deep it, oftentimes, even when you do whip up the phone, when you show it to somebody else, it's not as funny. Why? Because you missed the moment, and two as well. You have to be there.
Yeah,
you have to be there. And this is why I'm saying that although we are in a very connected society, we're very disconnected, because like what's supposed to happen is that when we're like, for instance, when we went to Nando's, right, we bantered, we caught 2 jokes, whatever. What's supposed to happen is that memory is meant to lock into your mind. Then when I explain to somebody else, I can tell them from memory, this is what happened, bro. It was funny. Da, 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 da. But if I get my phone out and then show you, bro, this is what happened, and you're watching the screen, we've lost that connectivity. Do you understand? Like, it's no longer about it's so the whole art of telling a story. It's not about me showing you a phone. It's about me being able to tell the story, being able to add little flavors to it. We've lost all of that. So again, parts of our human nature that normally we were interacting with gets completely wiped.
And you know what? Yeah. I do think as well. That's why, like, obviously not every parent does this, but that's why a lot of parents don't get it when we're showing them stuff on our phone. Like, you're posting something and they're like, oh, do you know that person? Because for them, they're like,
that is so true.
They're in the what is around them. They're in the here. They're not in whatever's going on in the phone. So that's why I think that they're very much, like that was funny, Kiki, but how do you know this person, sort of thing. Like, that's why we don't get it most of the time, because they're not used to stuff like that.
I agree.
And I think it creates a false sense of intimacy and knowing someone, and that's what leads into our entitlement, because of the fact that we feel like, oh my gosh, I know the gender of your baby, I know the day that you got proposed to, I know the cut of your wedding ring, I know the house that you just bought, I know all of these things. It creates a false sense of intimacy. It creates a false sense of, I know this person. Like, do you know what? I'm cool with this person. That's when people start talking to you sideways. They're like, who the hell are you? But really and truly, they think they know.
I know you.
Do you know what I mean?
But you know what?
And I think that's what builds that entitlement. What?
Sorry, you know what this reminds me of? Remember when it reminds me of Nikita and Pharrell when they broke up. Up in arms when they split up, because everyone was just like, oh, like, we need to know. And that is, I feel like that situation, in a sense, can be different because they put all of that out there. And it's the same with I don't know what their names are, but they're Australian, and
Nikki and
James.
That's it.
James. Okay.
I didn't really follow
Jamie.
them, but I remember seeing the like her video of her saying, oh, like, God told me that whatever. And it's like, the reason why you're having to reveal what God has told you, the secret right now, is because you let everybody know so much about your relationship. Like, you show the world, like, from, like, do you know what I mean? From the top, like, everything that happened. So like, that's what it reminds me of.
I appreciate it. Do you want, guys? We spent quite a bit on this topic, and I think we're gonna go on forever. Yeah, I mean, I just want to add again, guys, please, we're not in. When I said about obviously having your kids on social media, I know there's a lot of people that have their kids on social media. I am not questioning your parenting. I want you to understand this. I was not questioning your parenting. I'm simply having a discussion around about privacy versus publicness. Like, do you know what I mean? So that's just my kind of just take on the issue. Before someone's parent come and say, I have my kid on social media and you're saying my parenting is bad. We're not saying that. We're just saying a consideration for these kind of things. All right.
I was going to say,
go for it.
Alamide said something in the comments about showing great grandchildren and stuff. I still feel like there's a way that you can still share things with your intimate family and your immediate family and your friends, and it still stay within that space. I don't feel like necessarily everything needs to go on social media, because at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, even people that are on private sometimes will just accept anyone to follow them. They don't feel like they're a threat, and it still could be an absolute complete stranger, and they're seeing your whole entire life. I do feel like
that was a tough issue.
Someone else said about box and stuff like that, and I do think that things like technology like that is very important, where you can kind of archive like memories and pictures to still show whoever in the future. But that's all I wanted to add to that. We can go on.
So I guess obviously changing a pace and changing direction of the conversation. Still talking about social media pressures and everything like that. I guess it's going to be catered towards the ladies more. So and someone support you. I was saying allegedly, it's true. So obviously with social media now, and do you know what, I would even say it's even before social media, but it's heightened more. So dealing with the strong black woman, I guess, phrase, okay, because obviously you're on social media. And do you know what? I believe this started with aunties anyway. So this is before social media, but it's been heightened. The strong black woman, when you see the auntie there saying, you know, she survived 3 cheating scandals, you know, her husband has been up, down in New York and Melbourne and all these places and still has come back to her bedroom, you know, all this kind of stuff, trying to be the strong black woman. So I wanted to get, guys, I wanted to kind of discuss that.
Sorry.
No shade to anybody's auntie,
looking
please.
at each other like
No shade to anyone's auntie, please. I don't know anybody's auntie who's doing that. Okay, it's a legend.
Who knows? Who knows?
I don't know anybody's auntie. That husband's in Melbourne. Okay. But do you feel this pressure as black women to be strong? Like, do you and how does it, if you do feel this pressure, how does it show? How does it affect you? That's what I want to kind of know, because I'm a black male, so you know I don't know how it feels for you lot, but I would love for you guys to talk about that. You know what I'm saying?
Can I be honest?
Yes.
Actually, why did I ask?
I don't know why you even said it. Have you not been honest?
I kind of feel like we don't have a choice with a lot of it. Like I feel like with as a black woman, I don't have a choice. Like the situations in front of me is either I go and die or I get through it. Like, and obviously I'm not trying to go and die, so I do whatever it takes to go through it. I think that a lot of the challenges that are placed in front of us aren't necessarily placed in front of our white counterparts, but we don't have a choice. Like, it's either we move on and we just take it on our shoulders. I just don't think that we get enough recognition. I feel like a lot of the time, not even recognition, I think that we sometimes, and I mean sometimes, carry it so well that like black males do not see us do it, so they act like it doesn't exist. So all they would say is that it doesn't exist. So we would, like, we could go through, I don't know, think of any example to be real honest, and it's not until like one person will come up and say it, there's always like going to be someone who wants to counteract and say something against it and just be like, oh well, you're the only person, this is the first time I'm hearing of it, this is the first time no one else has said da, 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 da. No one else has spoken about blah 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 blah, so it must just be a situation with you. And then it kind of goes back on that person and kind of is like, okay, well maybe I should have just kept it to myself, because now I just have to carry it and pretend that it just never happened. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Nana hit it right on the head. You hit it right on the head, because when you were saying we feel the pressure, I was like, I don't think I've ever felt the pressure. I just am. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That was my well. It just is.
Yeah,
like,
and I feel like it's being talked about more so now, this whole strong black woman narrative. And what we need to understand is that everybody goes through trials. Everybody experiences different things, you know. A black woman can experience bereavement, a white woman, white man, black man, Asian woman can experience bereavement. It's still bereavement. Do you know what I mean? But for some reason, for whatever reason, and everybody who's experienced it, regardless of your nationality, your ethnicity, whatever, has gotten up and kept it moving, however they've gotten up and kept it moving, right? But for some reason, this narrative of the strong black woman is pushed forward. And the reason it's harmful is because of the fact that then people now say you are a strong black woman. So where every other ethnicity may have faced that exact same hardship, let's say it's bereavement, everybody else has experienced that exact same hardship. There's compassion there for them. But because you are now, for wherever this came from, and we know, like, if you have to trace it back, you know, when they're experimenting on black women, when they're experimenting on black slaves, all of gynecology being developed.
Jay Simmons.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
we can go there, but because of
go
the fact that this thing is entrenched. You know, it's even an institutionalized idea if you really think about it. And rightly or wrongly, thank God for social media or not, the goods and evils of it, it's been elevated and put on a pedestal. And
Right.
because of the fact that when anybody else experiences something, it's they're there. I was gonna say a name, but we're not gonna say that they're their person X. Don't
If you
worry,
say
blah blah
yeah,
blah blah blah. Do you know what I mean? But if I come and say like this is what's happened to me, it's well, you know, it happens to everybody, get over it, keep it moving. And you within yourself now have that get over it, keep it moving. Even if you think about the fact that our parents, what are we? Are we first generation or second generation? If your parents came here and you were born here.
Second generation, yeah.
Yes.
Second gen. We're second gen, but you know that when your parents came here, people were moving mad. I can tell you stories about what's happened to my mum for days. Do you know what I mean? And because of the fact that that was survival mode, it was we've got to keep it moving, we've got to keep it moving, we've got to make it. Whether they intentionally did it or realize they're doing it or not, that gets passed on to us. So obviously you're just like, you've got to keep it moving. Like Nana said, you move or you die. Which one is it? I don't want to die, so I got to move. You know?
Right.
And nobody thinks to say, actually, I put in support mechanisms for everybody, but you're a strong black woman, so I'm not going to put in support mechanisms for you. I would guide everybody else. When I say everybody, I mean everybody. If you look at the hierarchy of society with every ethnicity, black women's at the bottom. So everybody else gets things put in place for them. But you know what? Like Esther's saying, dust it off. This is who you are. This is how your life is. Don't cry, wipe your teeth, keep it moving.
It really is a put up and shut up and keep it moving sort of thing. Like get over it. Like people die every day. You'll get over this person's death. This happens to people every day, but they don't realize that you were there for that person. Like society. I'm talking in general. I'm not even talking about individuals, because we can say that there are some people that try to be there, but I do think that it's a small minority. It's a very small minority. And one thing that I do want us to kind of get into is how men support black women or lack of.
Wait, say that again. It just slightly cut out. Say that again.
Oh, sorry. I said I want us to talk about how black men support black women or don't support black women in a sense. Because do you know what the funny thing is? I remember I think it was the other day, I can't remember what happened on Twitter, but someone said, I don't know what world you're living in or what kind of what state your mental health is in if you don't believe that black men support black women. And I was just sitting there thinking, as a black man, him personally may support, like him as his own life, he may support. But if we're talking about a general consensus, we don't get any support from black men. Let's be real honest. Like we can pat us about on examples for days, but across the board, really and truly, are women being uplifted? Are black women being uplifted the way that we feel that other white women are being uplifted, or Latino women are being uplifted? I don't think so, not at all. And that's simply because people so truly believe that we have it down for ourselves. Yes, we do. However, it would be nice. Like, where are you guys? Where are you people? Like, nice to have other people backing us on it to do stuff. I remember when we had that conversation ages ago. This is probably like a year ago in our first podcast, where we spoke about dark-skinned women. And how, we spoke about how and to Tim was so oblivious to it that he was acting like it wasn't even a thing. But me and Iffy are sitting there like we had to egg on ourselves. We had to show everybody else that we loved ourselves. We had to tell everybody our skin tone, our skin color. We had to set the pace. We were told for so many years how bleak we were, how much we looked like whatever, how much how they couldn't see us. We got all of that on a day-to-day basis as we were growing up, as we were going through the most crucial and important stages of our lives. We were getting this off of the bat. So it's not until we had to be strong for ourselves that everybody else started putting in their 2 pence. It would have been nice to have it
aesthetic, and it's even just the aesthetic of a black woman, dark skinned woman. It's even the flowers, if you like, that black women are getting now. It is literally aesthetics. It's the aesthetic. Okay, yes, dark skinned women are so beautiful, or black women are so beautiful. Black is beautiful, blah blah. Okay, cool. Yeah. We've been knowing this. Okay, cool. And then what? What doors are you gonna open? What infrastructure are you gonna put into place to make sure that we can now be on a level playing field? Then, so beautiful, so gorgeous, so eye
we
catching. Oh
have
my
other
gosh,
women.
chocolate latte, cocoa skin, cocoa this, brown skin this. Okay, cool. So what does that get me in the world? Because you're not gonna tell me it's just aesthetic.
Sorry, I feel like as black women we have so much battle, like this, like it just goes down to so much. Like we have so much to battle within ourselves. Me, Nana, internally, I have my own battles to then be doing paddle to pat with someone that's light skinned, and then on top of that, black men aren't even trying to really and truly lead or lead their other black men, or even guide their other black men to help us, to coach us through it. Do you know what I mean? There's just so much. Like there's the only thing that I feel like as black women individually, the only thing that we have is ourselves. The only truly can say that I can only say that I really have my back, and I can say that with confidence. When it comes to another black woman, we're still umming and ahhing because we're still beefing about stuff like skin tone and complexion. And then on top of that, we're talking about do black men co-sign dark skinned women or light skinned women, or what's the battle? The battle with there's too many battles to even win any kind of war. Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think? What part do you think? Because since you're right, I'm gonna go into it. So talking obviously about skin tone, talking about obviously colorism, talking about obviously the sudden love for dark skinned girls. Even there's a song, dark skinned girls, whole Beyonce and everything. I mean, so obviously. I don't know why she danced like that, like an old auntie. It was proper old auntie. So obviously, what do you think the impact of social media has been on that type of conversation? Because obviously we've seen recently on Twitter people getting dragged for colorist tweets from the past. What do you think that social media has played in that part?
I kind of feel like, sorry, Iffy, I know that I'm going off, but like this conversation gets me so heated.
I'm loading.
So heated because I'm just like, I remember like growing up and just having like, I can put my hand up and say that I was very insecure about my skin tone. I can put my hand up and say I pray to God to be light skinned. I remember there was nights where I actually did, because we were told that was what pretty was. We were told that's what beautiful was. So do you know what I mean? Like, so that's what we went with. So we went from that to then addressing it on social media and actually talking about it, and then having people tell us that this whole thing doesn't exist. Really on social media telling us that this light skin, dark skin thing is not a thing, and it's all in dark skin women's heads. No, like we've been told from day dot, from TV shows to music videos to whatever that else is. Even when people call a couple beautiful, it's usually a dark skin man and a light skin woman, and they're like, "Oh, that's a beautiful couple." Do you get? So from day dot, we've been told. So to go on social media and be told that I'm mad because my actual life experience to them isn't real, it's infuriating. I'm now the angry black woman, yes, because you're trying to tell me that the life that I live is a lie. But yeah, sorry if you go.
Okay, so okay, so Koje asked about the impact of social media with this whole dark skin women, black women stuff. For children, I think it's going to be an amazing thing, because from a young age, they are going to be building up their confidence. They're not old enough to really see the ins and outs of the reality of things. So what they're seeing now is black is beautiful, black is king, black is this, Jesus is king, but anyway, black is this, black is that. Celebrate blackness. Oh my gosh, Black Lives Matter. Even though lots of companies are being performative when they're doing this, the children are going to look and be like, oh my gosh, they support people that look like me. Oh my gosh, this company supports people that look like me. Oh my gosh, look at all these black people that they're getting onto their show. I don't know if you guys noticed, but if you watch the news now, all these black weather women, I ain't never seen a black weather woman in my life.
Not in my life.
Black anchors, 9 o'clock news, black people, 6 o'clock news. Black. I'm like, rah, where have you not been hiding us? And then you've got that now. So obviously for children, it's a wonderful thing, you know. In terms of the time on Twitter where people's colorist tweets were coming out, I am in two minds about this.
Okay.
A lot of the people whose tweets came up that were coming from 2010, 2011, 2008, whatever, we need to understand that at that time, they were in school. They were children.
Right. Okay. Right.
Maybe because of my profession and because of the things that I deal with on a day-to-day, and even the things I experience and the things I heard in the playground from black girls. I went to a girls' school, so from black girls, I can understand that what you're trying to do, really and truly, is be liked and let people like you. And if you know that the jokes about dark-skinned girls are the ones that get you the likes and get people laughing with you, you're gonna run it, even as the dark-skinned girl that you are. Do you know what I mean? So there's that side of it. Then the other side is of the people who have been, they were exposed last week, they were exposed the week before, they were exposed again and again and again and again. Cancel them. Meanwhile, you're still listening to their this, you're still buying their that, you're still doing this and that and the other. I think what it boils down to really, do you know what I mean? What it boils down to really is you as an individual, when you see these things, you cannot be swayed by the contagion, the crowd rage that comes, you know, this influence that everybody now, crowd mentality, mob mentality, everyone jumps on somebody, let's cancel them. As an individual, you need to look at, you have to, on a case-to-case basis, be like, am I choosing to cancel this person? If you are, cancel them. You don't have to announce it. You just know, I'm not listening to your podcast anymore. I'm not watching your YouTube videos anymore. I'm not going to sing your songs anymore. Whatever it is that you need to do, then do it. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to say this, but I'm going to have to say it. Objectively, I'm going to say objective. This is objectively. This is just an objective observation, okay?
If you just drop it,
objectively, I would say humans. Humans are trash, objectively, you know? So what you need to, and we're very fickle. We're very, very fickle is the other thing we need to remember. And that is why you can cancel somebody one day and then the next day people are retweeting the videos that they posted. Do you get? And what you need to understand is you need to be able to stand on your convictions regardless of what the crowd is saying, regardless of what the mentality is left, right, and center. Because at the end of the day, you have to decide, like, this is, do you know what I mean? And when people apologize, I can appreciate your apology. Well done. Clap for yourself. You've apologized. I will see you. By their fruit you shall know them. So you can apologize, you know. And for some people, I'm really sorry. I was very young. My actions every week anyway. I'm very sorry. My actions were of a childish person. I've grown up now. Blah 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 blah. And then the next week you're doing something silly. I can't accept that apology because I'm looking at your fruit, and your fruit is telling me you're still in that mentality. If you're still making fun of people's appearances and things like that, you are still in that mentality. And I can understand, you know, making a mistake, being young and being childish in your mentality and growing from it. I understand that, because which of us here can say that we haven't said or done things that looking back now we're like, wow, we did that. That was dumb and very silly and not acceptable. Do you get? But now, as you are older, you understand things more. Be better, do better.
Right.
Hold yourself to the highest standard that you now know and understand. And that is the thing that I think is lacking. And I don't even know if we can blame social media for not applying the pressure and maintaining the pressure. Do you know what I mean? Maybe part of it is the fact that because of the fact people will apply pressure, but they don't maintain the pressure, people don't. Why would I learn from my mistake if I'm still getting paid because you're still watching my videos?
Right.
How does that impact
So
in
that's that.
relationships? Okay, so I know you kind of we went on to colorism, etc., etc. I'm going to bring it back to strong black women. How does strong black women impact relationships?
I think it impacts as much as you let it impact in terms of as an individual, because I'll speak for myself, right?
Right.
The only way I can explain it is that in my years of life, I have not exhaled. Because if I exhale, I don't know what will happen.
So
Do you know what I mean? And even look at how I'm holding my hands. So for me to feel safe, it's to feel safe enough to exhale, I need to know and understand that you've got me in my totality. But because I've spent my entire life like this, do I even know what my exhaledness looks like? My actually
yeah,
feel relaxed
yeah,
self looks like. So I think in relationships, it brings out this battle of fear. It brings out this battle of fear because you're there thinking, what will I actually, what will happen if I actually relax here? And you're scared because it's like,
mm.
I feel like I can relax in this relationship. I feel like this person really has
However,
got me and I will be able to relax in this relationship. But I don't know. I don't know.
exactly,
And if I relax,
you're
yeah,
waiting
like
for it.
it's like
You're
I'm a
waiting for
puzzle
it.
now. Do you get? If I relax, how am I gonna gather myself back together if anything
Yeah.
happens? Therefore, we'll just stay like this. Thank you. I think
I
that that's what it is as a strong black woman.
I think a lot of the time, especially when like in dating or courting or whatever, I feel like you're always going to be like, a man's always going to compare, like, especially if it's a man that dates outside, a black man that dates outside of his race, he is going to compare consciously or subconsciously how a black woman carries herself in comparison that a Latino, white, Asian, etc., carries themselves. And I think that there has been so much, that black women have had to deal with and had to carry, that when it comes to coming into a relationship, a black man can feel like, first of all, that they're not needed, because I do believe that in a relationship, a man does want to be needed, if that makes sense. Like, they want to feel like they're useful, right? And they're not just there floating with the flow. And also the fact that this woman can go, they may feel like that this woman can go off and suddenly, like any minute, at any, like, it's a Minecraft game sort of thing, where like anything can set her off. So I do think that there is that. I feel like there needs to be that kind of grace when it comes to dating a black woman. It's for some black women, and I do think that a real conversation, if anything does come up where you do feel like, oh, she's about to go off, you do feel like she's hard on the outside or whatever, like, because I feel like as much as you can feel like, oh, she's too strong and she's got a hard shell, whatever, black women still need to be loved. Like, we still want to be loved. And I feel like once you put us in a place where we do feel loved, we can start putting parts of our guards down to start trusting again. Does that make sense? That's just where I am.
Yeah, I get exactly what Nana's saying. You know, it's the idea that because you have gone through without relying on anyone and not being able to trust anyone anyway, it's difficult when you're in a relationship to even to gauge when to open up and to let your guard down and take your walls down and things like that. And it's very scary terrain. And I think it's scary for anybody in any relationship, whether a black woman or not. But you've got this added layer of, I have to be strong. you know, and it stays in the back of your head. Like we say, it's not a pressure, it's just always there. It's in the back of your mind. So even you still have that mindset of, if he lets me down, I have to be strong. I didn't care anyway. Anyway, I could just keep it moving anyway. That's a defense mechanism. It's a defense mechanism. It's a thing of you telling yourself, I'll be fine, I'll be okay. And that even ties into the I have to be strong, because you don't even want to let yourself be sad or upset or grieve the loss of a relationship, because you have to be okay anyway. You have to keep it moving anyway. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, exactly. What Fiona's just said there, exactly. The idea that we don't need emotion, we're not so emotional. We don't need that emotional support. Do you know what I mean? And that whole idea of where we're whole. There's a perception that we've come to you whole already, and let me tell you something. It's paint over cracks. It's paint over cracks. It's paint over cracks. Do you know what I mean? And it's difficult because in a relationship, it's paint over cracks. Do you know what I mean? And I think that in a relationship anyway, there has to be a transition from selfish, I want to protect myself, to selfless, I want to love and be loved. You know what I mean? Because if we're both in this space and we're just like, I don't know this man, I don't know this woman, I need to protect myself, I need to make sure that I'm okay if anything happens, blah, 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 to then actually being selfless and looking at each other and saying, do you know what? I want to love you. I want to love you. I want to be loved by you. I want to be loved by you. Because when you now do that, and come away from there, it's no longer what can I make sure I leave this relationship with, how whole can I make sure I leave this relationship. Because if you're anticipating the end of something at the beginning, you're not going to go fully into it. And yes, it might go wrong. Yes, you might get hurt, but hey ho,
that's life, baby.
It is
that's
what it is.
You will make it, I promise. It's the bit for the moment, but you will actually make it through. I promise you. That man wasn't. Anyway, let me not get into that.
Absolutely. And you know what? Esther's just said something. Esther said the strong black woman trope gives black men the excuse to be fathers too, because we can handle raising a child on our own. So obviously you see it, and it's documented, the single motherhood in the world. I want to say in the Western world especially, right? And even the fact that, and this is not to, draw anybody's parents or family out, but even the fact that in a household where both parents are there, it's very unlikely that a father plays an extreme active role in raising his children. So you've got this idea now. And the truth of the matter is, I remember talking to my friends, and we're doing this scenario of, oh, if so-and-so cheated, what would happen? Like, if your husband cheated, what would you do? And I said, I will give that man full custody of the children, and I'll be the one gallivanting. I'll go and do my eat, pray, love, shave my head, travel the world, do all of them things there. And do you know what? Every time I say that, do you know what people say to me? They're like, if you leave you leave your child with the children, but the children will suffer. The children will suffer. And
but the children are meant that. So really and truly, what difference if I had custody? If he had custody,
father.
It's true though.
Do you get? Do you know what I mean? Nobody's saying it from the perspective of this child is without a parent, that is without one of their parents. That is why they'll suffer. The reason they think their children will suffer is because they're going to be left with their dad. And do you know, even like, let's be honest, yeah, there's people who are terrible partners but good parents. Do you get? So if you are a good father to your children, why can't you have full custody? Why can't I be the person coming every other weekend to visit them? What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, the children will suffer. Boy, I love y'all kids, but y'all gonna have to suffer. Let me tell you, because I'm not having it. Joking. My husband will not cheat, and that will have happened. But like when I say that to people, everyone's just like, wow, like the children. Like, how can you say that? The children are gonna suffer. Like, how can you leave them with their father? That should not be the first reaction. No, like as in, it wasn't rah, like your husband cheated. Yeah, actually you do need some time to process this and think about this kiniko. Do you know what I mean? And let's be honest, if I went to a court and said, actually I want full custody back, would they not give it to me? Come on. They would.
It's true.
If
Yeah,
there's
I
one way
think
that the system works.
Hmm.
do you know what I mean? One thing that's in my favor.
No, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. You're not making sense. You're making sense. Does that play any role in? I guess obviously talk about kids and stuff. Does that play a? Do you know what? It's funny because obviously just today I was just reading an article. Actually, an article it was a blog site, please. It was. I'm telling you, it was an article. It's a blog site. Okay. When they talk about business. But yeah, there was an article, a blog site, and they were talking about I think it was an American footballer or whatever, and he's split with his girlfriend. They have 4 kids together, and she was asking, and this I thought was at first I was a bit like whoa, but actually I realized that no, it's reasonable. She asked for like 15K in terms a month in terms of maintenance, everything like that. Yeah. No, he's worth 45 million, sis. So obviously, and she actually listed out what the money is going towards. She actually listed out what the money is going towards. Private school, food.
Exactly. I feel like that. I feel like as soon as she lists everything it's for, then I don't see what the issue is. I don't see what the issue is. I feel like there are out there asking for a lot of money, and it's really, let's be honest, it's not really for the kids. We know some of it is for the kids, but like some of it really is just for her to do her nails and her lashes. But
well, remember, she put that there though. She put that there as part of her grooming, like grooming. It's not free. She said it's not free. She understood that. Part of the thing is not for the kids. She's in there specifically grooming, taking care of herself.
Go off, sis.
From when the child is getting to private school, 15K is not even enough, to be honest.
Yeah, so I was gonna say 15K a year because that's 4 kids. You know, it's not 1, it's 4.
A year.
By the same guy.
Is that
a
it?
month? A month. I was
about to say that.
Per month. I mean, obviously with social media, do you feel like and that was just a side thing. I just wanted to add it because I read it. But do you feel with social media now that we are too quick to break up? As in, like, people are using social media as a means to like break, like any reason now. They just want to it's over. Oh, okay, talk to me.
I think people are using social media as a means to stay together. They want to stay bad, like they want to save face so bad. They don't want it to be horrible. Like people, like there's people suffering within their relationships. They absolutely flipping hate each other. They can't stand each other's guts. However, whatever they did, Date Night last week got 100K likes. So they're sticking it out. And on top of that, so and so, whichever Hakkasan or was it Nobu or whatever said that they can get free whatever the next time that they come and take a picture. Like there's people suffering within their relationships because they know to the world, if they tell the world that they split up, that's it. That's the end of a lot of things for them. So for me,
say that last part again. Sorry, it broke.
I just reiterate. I just think it's the opposite. Like I don't think it's the same. I don't think so.
Okay, Iffy, your particular perspective. Is it social media causing more breakups? Or
in terms of the expectations and the standards that social media have, so you might be like, oh, my partner doesn't do this. Why don't you do this? It's ridiculous. Oh, let's break up then. Do you know what I mean? Without like some people don't realize that these things are unrealistic. You are literally looking at a perpetual highlight reel of many people's lives.
Media, or is it more to do with just the general standard of morals that we carry on as the generation as time has gone on? Because it could be a case. I feel like even with myself, I feel like that's different because it's me. But I feel like there's some people that would say, I'm still gonna stick it out because I know that there's this person, this person's like this or this person's like that, and I know I can work it out. Whereas for some people, they just do not have the capacity, I want to say, for lack of a better word, to hang on to certain things. And social media has nothing to do with it. It's just that they've seen something, they feel like it's worth dropping what they have for that thing. Does that make sense? Find someone that will do.
But I think that is fueled. It's literally fueled by social media, because if you're seeing all of these images all the time, you're seeing that as the norm. If you're having conversations with your friends about these images all the time, then you're all talking yourselves into believing that this is the norm. This is what should be happening. So if this is not happening, then what do I need you for? If you've got
but then let's say,
is it Bodak Yellow?
But let's say, sorry, let's it's delay. There's a delay. Sorry. Let's say, for example, it's not a thing where they've seen it on social media. Let's say it's a case of they had a conversation with their friend and whoever said that. Timmy came the other day and he gave me roses and blah blah blah, and he bought me a 15-carat necklace and whatever. I feel like people are more quick to be like, oh, like whoever doesn't do that, so why is it that I don't like to drop that relationship because they've seen something that their friend has been through. I feel like there's that. I feel like that same thing kind of applies to social media. I feel like regardless of whether social media is there or not, that thing's still going to be there. That mentality is still going to be there, only because there's a lot more people now that aren't willing to stand for things that are a bit more tangible, that are a bit more important in a relationship over things that look cute and nice and whatever.
Yeah, so it's literally both of those scenarios tied to the same thing: unrealistic expectations. Do you know what I mean? It's a build-up of unrealistic expectations, whether it is that you're talking to your friends about these things or you're seeing it on social media. All of those things come together, and what we do know is that people have unrealistic expectations. And because you now make the benchmark of your relationship, does this happen or does that happen? If this and this doesn't happen by X amount of time, then this relationship isn't worth it. And because we're in such a quick, instant, microwavable age, we don't value things as much as we should or could. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know, maybe and some people may talk themselves into thinking, do you know what? I don't want this. I'm not about this struggle relationship mentality. If he's not buying me a Bugatti, then it's a struggle relationship. So I need to lock him up. Do you know what I mean? So I genuinely feel like those things. No, I legit feel like those things sometimes merge together. So it isn't now a thing of, you throw away your relationship based on something that is material and is actually not consequential to the growth of your relationship at all, and I do think that social media has a big part to play in it, because if you're looking at everybody's proposals online, if you're looking at all these 20-year-olds who are renting apartments and buying Louis Vuitton and Kiniko and doing all of these things for their partners, and then you're not getting it,
Birkin
whether you realize or not, that seed of inadequacy will start to be built. Do you know what I mean? It's like, am I good enough for this Louis Vuitton? Am I good enough? Which Louis Vuitton do you have in your oil wardrobe at all? First, please. Which Louis Vuitton do you see in his wardrobe first? Please. Do you know what I mean? And I think that is something that we build based on just looking at it, and that seed of inadequacy will build, and if you feed it, it will grow. If you're scrolling, looking at millionaires, by the way, looking at people who are paid to use these products, by the way, do you know what I mean? These are not real people, these are not real life.
Let's add that one. But that's not
do you get? So you will feel inadequate because that's not going to happen. And people are out here looking for sugar daddies and benefactors, because like Fiona said, we finna get flued out. Somebody take me to Dubai, let's go, because you know what I mean.
I deserve it.
It's true.
I deserve. Yeah, no, I agree that I think there is a lot of when it comes to obviously this when it comes to this particular topic, I think there's a lot of problems, obviously, in terms of, like, we haven't even touched on it, but I think I spoke about this last week with the Lover Live that I did. I spoke about, obviously, that, for instance, Instagram, and is how Instagram can cause problems in relationships, because the comparison, number one. Number two, why is your finger liking photos that are explicit, yo? Like, why are you on the big booty chicks? Like, what's going on? Like, why
Well,
you
that's the question,
scrolling
though, sir.
and double tapping? Like, what's up with that? Like, what's the, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously the girl's not literally there, but like, why are, like, do you know what I mean? So it's another minefield.
Why does your explore page look like that?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. My explore page is, I don't go on it. This is why I don't go on it, because whenever I go on it, I don't understand why the explore page is filled with thick girls. I don't know if the phone is listening to my conversation. I'm not sure
The algorithm doesn't lie.
The devil doesn't lie. The devil's a liar. He keeps
That's the
sending them
question we
things.
need to ask.
He keeps telling me those
We need
things.
to ask, why your explore page looking like that? Explain to the people, sir. We need to know.
My explore page just has wigs and makeup, so
Isn't it? Like,
Do you know what I mean? And food. Mine has wigs, food. That's it.
What's the explore page built upon? I don't understand. What's it built upon?
What you like.
What you like.
I haven't liked anything. This is what I'm saying. I don't like these things. I honestly don't. If you see my likes, I don't like those kind of things. And I will tell you honestly, if I was a B up, I'll tell you straight up from my chest, guys, I've been liking these photos. But I don't. I genuinely don't. Like I don't go on it. But when I do go on it, I notice that there is a lot of, it's normally football, dance, and then thick girls. And I don't understand why that is there. So I just exclude it. I don't go on it. You know what I'm saying? I don't go on it. Because I really do believe it's I believe for me it is a, when you begin to go down that lane, you are opening yourself up to a lot of trouble, because it's comparison.
Yeah, you end up in a rabbit hole that you really and truly is only gonna take prayer to get out of. So, so you might as well just leave it. Just leave that one, dear. Leave that one, dear.
Someone said Insta knows what you like, coach. There's no hiding from the system. It's true. I think if you heard my conversations on the phone, that's probably what it is.
Maybe that's it. It's the conversation.
I keep saying bunda everywhere. And bunda, and the next you know, fam, you know what I mean? Explore page is full of it.
Have you guys seen the TikTok? I think it's a TikTok where
the one I sent you.
Someone's with their friend, and then they're like therapy.
Pizza. I'm hungry.
So for instance, let's talk about like some nuances about social media and how it affects relationships. Like, okay, so for instance, the 24-hour access to, like, I'm aware now, being obviously on YouTube now, and the more that you grow, the more that people access you.
Access someone all the time.
Yes. How do you lot feel about that? If you have, let's say you had a partner that is able to be accessed and is being accessed 24/7. I'm not saying that they're doing anything, but they're being accessed because you got social media, you got Insta, you got Twitter, WhatsApp's not really
more specific. What's happening? Give me a scenario.
I'm just saying, like, a scenario could be just like, you've got a lot of the opposite sex messaging you. It doesn't have to be anything bad,
right,
but
they on the
DMs, DMs inbox. A lot of people DMs in the inbox.
I believe that with a guy, like, they're able to control how, like, their actions with those DMs. So you're telling me there's no one in this world that has received a message and not replied 3 days later. They will know from, like, people know from your energy, like, how, like, what you're feeling and what you're thinking. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're replying is back and forth on the thing, she's replying, you reply, she's replying, you reply, as innocent as it may be, it could end up like I feel like women, our minds go a lot quicker, like our imagination, in whatever friendship or relationship we have has already gone. Our wedding is already even the wedding is already but, like, if you're doing back and forth, I think that there's a way in which, especially when it comes to, like, what time you reply, how you reply, the words that are being said, I think that's what's important. I think someone having access, women having access to my boyfriend, my fiance, my husband, I don't feel like that is a really big deal for me. My issue is his actions and what he does with all of that. If he's giving these people so much attention and our relationship is lacking, there's a problem and we will address it. Yeah.
I think that's it. Like, I wouldn't be with, I trust you. Do you know what I mean? I trust you. So having access and your response to the access are two different things. Do you know what I mean? So the fact that I trust you is enough, and that is that on that. And if I have to throw hands, I'm gonna throw them hands. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Virtual
That's
hands,
exactly.
yeah.
I swear.
I mean, it doesn't
You
even
know,
need to be
like,
broken.
well,
Drop the
yeah.
pin. Drop the pin.
Send me your location.
I hear that.
No, joking. But yeah, I think the main thing is when you're in a relationship, yeah, if that relationship is serious, then trust is being built. And that's all that you need. So I wouldn't be there like, oh, why is so and so DMing you?
Yeah.
But then if our relationship is lacking and we're not working on that, that's when the issue happens. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But you have to, I can't honestly hold my hands up and be like, I'm just going to be great with it. It's something that you have to speak into. It's something that you have to, watch your mind over, because like
Yeah.
Nana says, we're away
Go
with the
on.
fairy. So you have to really, 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 really like take the time to make sure that you are not blowing things out of proportion and be communicating. If at any point you do feel like, oh my gosh, this is a bit of a problem, it worries me because blah blah blah, communicate it. Communicate
Right.
it sensibly, communicate it effectively, and have that conversation with your partner and let him either put your mind at ease or hopefully not, but confirm your suspicions, and then you go from there.
What is there a difference between a message at 3 a.m. on Insta or Twitter to a message at 3 a.m. as a text?
Personally, I think no, and I say that because it could be me. It could be me that's in someone's DMs at 3 a.m. and it's not necessarily anything to do with me trying to move to them. It's just a case of that happens to be what time I remember to reply to your message.
That's literally exactly what Nana said.
Like that just happens to be the time as to which I'm up and I know that I need something, or I need something done, or I need to communicate with you, and that's the time that I remember because I know that tomorrow is a busy day or the rest of my day is a busy day, so therefore that's the time that I message. I think these days no, but I do think that there was a time where I could understand why it was a problem. I feel like, let's say we go back 15 years ago and a husband and a wife are sleeping and the husband's phone is going off at 3 a.m. I do feel like back then, yes, it was a problem, but these days it's just, I feel like we're just in a generation where like we're all borderline workaholics anyway. We're all doing our own thing. We're all doing whatever we
24/7, yeah.
24/7. There's no putting anything down. Work has access to us all the time. What do you call it? Like we remember things. Me personally, I remember things really late. So that's me going off, like, do you know what I mean? So I don't think it's that important these days. But back in the day, I would have said, yeah, it's a problem. But now I don't think it's a problem.
And having said that though, like I agree with Nana. I don't think it's an issue because we're literally up 24/7. Like there's times when, and you do remember things and stuff. Let me just, you know what I mean? Because let's be honest, even whether it's a for me, I know my phone's on do not disturb. So whether you text me, Insta message me, DM me, whatever, at 3 a.m., that's not getting replied to until I'm
until I wake up. So for me, it's not a problem.
Exactly.
It's like I know that I don't expect you to reply at that hour. I'm just saying that I'm sending this message now so that I don't forget. Because 9 times out of 10, I know it's a message that needs to be said.
Having said that though, like with my married friends, like with my guy friends that are married, even though I know it's not an issue, I'm friends with their wives as well. Like I'll be mindful of if I remember something and it's 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever, just out of respect for the fact, like you say, they're sleeping. I don't know if your phone's on do not disturb and the ping comes through. I will make a note of it and text them in the morning or whatever, or message them in the morning. But and I know that people do that where like if people are married, they're intentional with, do you know what? Let me not even just for the sake of respect for your household, for your married and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't think it's that deep.
Do you know what? I feel like
is that different then?
Huh?
Is that different then? Because that text it gonna come through right through the phone, but like an Insta message, it can still come through the phone. But it's like on Instagram, it's slightly different. Like it's not your personal, it's just your Instagram. Like, or if let's say for instance, I tweet you at 3 a.m. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I kind of feel like I feel like it's the intention. It's the intent behind it because At the end of the day, if I'm messaging someone because I want them to be a guest on the pod, like for example, and the time that I remember happens to be 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm doing it because I know that the rest of my day is busy, and I know that I probably won't get back to that message until 3 days later, the day before I need you to come down. Do you get? So I feel like that's where I'm coming from. If it's like on purposely, or like I know this guy's married, but I want his attention. I know his wife is asleep, so let me message him now. That's different. I feel like that's different. I feel like the intention behind it needs to be identified. But again, like,
and that's the main thing. That's the main thing. It's the intention, because I can really be preying you, watching you, realize your wife is out of town, and message you at midday for lunch.
That's social media.
Knowing that your wife isn't about. Do you know what I mean? So, or your missus isn't about. So, like, do you know what I mean?
Right.
And it really is the intention and the spirit behind why am I messaging this person? Because if it's that they sell, I saw them selling something and I want to buy it, versus I know that your wife is asleep and I'm just trying to slide into your DMs, then it's completely different. Do you know what I mean? And I think that, again, it's about the trust in the relationship. If you trust your partner, you know well enough that whoever's messaging them at 3 o'clock in the morning or messaging them with whatever intention, they are going to be, you know what I mean? We're never going to be able to control anybody's actions. And trust is something that you don't see it. It just builds out their actions over time. So whatever it might be, whatever it might be.
I was going to say, like, it's like someone's even saying in the comments, like, it really is down to like not being jealous and trusting the person that you're with.
Yeah.
Because if I feel like even myself, if I was married and my husband was getting messages through at that time, I don't think I would be that bothered. I don't think I would care that much, only because obviously obviously it's situational dependent. Obviously it depends on like where we are as well as a couple. Like we might actually be going through our own thing, or we might be mid argument at 3 o'clock in the morning and all we hear is ping, ping, ping. Of course that's gonna make me go off, but like I feel like because in this day and age, we're not like, everyone's just busy. Like we've got our own things going. Our phone is always in our hands anyway. So we're on the go constantly. So once we get that time where we're like, I need to message so-and-so about you'll just go off. Like even now during this live, I was messaging people. I'm in this live. It's just because that's when I remembered to do it. That's when I remembered to do it. So yeah, but that's just it.
I hear that. No, that's cool. I get that. I think obviously, like I said, I don't particularly have an opinion on it. Do you get what I'm saying? But I think that goes back to the old school question about, can someone message your partner at a late hour? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I guess it's just changed a little bit now because it's social media, and we do actually have access to people 24/7. So you know, you don't necessarily have to reply to it, but you can have access to people 24/7. Okay, so last kind of segment of the kind of conversation. Obviously to do with social media and relationship. So obviously for you guys, talking about, obviously, I'm going to talk a little bit more about dating rather than even relationships. Okay. How are you finding navigating this relationship stuff, you know, through the fact that do you guys, you know, date through social media? Would you view someone's profile and consider that before you date the person, etc.?
Do you know, the funny thing is, I was having this conversation with a friend yesterday, and we were just generally talking about the struggles. Like, it is ghetto out here, people. It is ghetto. It's ghetto. Like, somebody get me out of here. It is so ghetto.
I'm out of the game, so...
If you're out of the game, hold on.
Yeah, if he's out of the game. If he's out of the game. But then if you can still talk on the topic, because like you guys met through social media.
It's true. Yeah.
Oh, me too. I mean, I met my missus on Facebook, but hey, go for it.
Right. So we were just talking about how, like, when we do like see people's profiles or whatever, we kind of like, I feel like as women, we're not the sort of person to. I'm not the sort of person to slide in DMs. Like, if I don't know, like, I feel like I trip over my words. I feel like I sound silly. I feel like I wouldn't know what to say. I wouldn't know how to do it with finesse. And the way that even people slide into my DMs, if it's not done with like, if it's not done properly, or if it's done in a way that
Grace, Lana will tear you a new one. I just need you to understand, because I know there might be people here that are looking at her like, this woman is beautiful, but you need to come.
no, listen, yeah.
She will tear you a new one.
I won't.
Oh,
tear
Fiona
anyone
asked Nana, is it ghetto enough to have an arranged marriage or be set up by friends or family?
I think arranged marriage is too far. I think it's ghetto enough to have my friends set me up with people, but arranged marriage, no. Like, I don't think I'd go that far. Actually, to be fair, you never know. Some people, it works out for some people and they end up actually genuinely liking the guy, but you never know. You actually never know. But it's ghetto, okay? If you see some of the stuff that happens in my DMs, I'm not gonna be out here exposing other people and stuff in my DMs. But if you were to see the stuff that happened to me, guys, I cannot make this up. I can't write it as a script, even if I wanted to. I am screaming out for help. Men, please watch yourself when you go into a woman's DMs. Please, I am begging you. Like, come with respect. Come like you have sense. Come like you've seen a woman before.
I hear that.
Some people are acting like they've never seen a woman
before. William, acting like you never seen a woman before.
Like, it's ridiculous.
No decorum.
And back to like me not sliding into people's DMs. It just is a case of I just don't know what to say. I'm not saying that women shouldn't. I'm just saying that for me personally, I don't feel like I can do it in a way where it's someone said the DMs are very scary. Scary, baby, is scary out here. I would not be able to do it in a way that is like cute or like they'd find it flattering. I think they'll just think I'm weird, so I wouldn't do it personally. So yeah, that's just me on that.
Okay. What's your thoughts? I mean, obviously,
I think
you're out of the game, so talk to us.
Yeah, I think that you just have to have, like, I think it's the benefit of it is obviously you're not in my physical space, so if you're mad, I can just block you.
That's
I can
true.
literally, I can make sure that you have no more access to me if necessary. I think it's good to have an open mind, and if people are ridiculous, just lock it. Like,
but you know what? Yeah,
immediately.
You say this, but like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've had situations where, guys, if I don't laugh, I'll cry. Like, I've had situations where I've blocked them and they've popped up somewhere else. And it's like, how did you find me? Like, how did you find me here? Like, we've not had a dialogue. Like, they'd send a DM or whatever, I'd ignore it, or it'd be like, I'd ignore it so they pop somewhere else, or they say something so ridiculous that I block them and then they pop up somewhere else. Whether it's from Twitter to Instagram, whether it's Instagram to Snapchat, whether it's Snapchat to be fair, no one went on WhatsApp, luckily for myself. But they'll just hop, skip, and jump, and I'm just like, Facebook even. That's why I've had to make so much of my stuff private, because I'm like, how are you guys? What's happening? The meaning of all of this, do you know what I mean? And that's why I'm like, act like you've seen a woman before. Like, have sense when you're coming into my DMs, because I can politely decline, or I will say something that will hurt your feelings. Okay.
Damn.
She will literally. I said it before. None will tell you, and
I will hurt your feelings. I'll let you know that now. I just think just be polite and be like normal. Like, some of the stuff. Someone sent me a poem. Someone sent me a poem. Let me see if it's even.
Is it nice? Was the poem lit though?
No. Read the poem.
I used to do that was MySpace days, boy. I had to drop these little poems. You get me on MySpace.
I feel like
it was in my requested.
As an initial thing, legit, just be a normal person. Do you know what I mean? Roses are red, violets are blue. Your eyes are green.
It's still there.
I don't understand. Like, what is happening?
Do you want me to read?
Yeah, I think it's.
We're listening.
Yes, please.
Shall I read it?
Go for it. You can bleep out names.
Beauty tingles. Your beauty tingles. I can already hear the bells jingle. If we mingle, can we kindle?
Nah, you actually did. How you laughing at your own joke, bruv? Let's hear it, bruv.
If we mingle, can we kindle a spark that will not dwindle? Hey, gorgeous.
I thought that was a nice introduction, bruv. What's wrong with that, cuz?
No, absolutely
What
not.
is wrong with that, guys? Guys, tell me what's wrong with that. What's wrong with that? Man brought a
Why didn't
jingle.
he just say? Why didn't he just say, "Hey, gorgeous"? Like, why didn't he just say, "Hey, gorgeous"? And that's
Hey,
it
gorgeous,
there.
I'm here. I'm single. I want to mingle and I want to rekindle. You know
I
what I'm
want to
saying?
mingle. If mingle,
And read you like a Kindle. Listen, what's wrong with that?
he could have just said.
Basically,
He
guys,
could've
if
just
you're British
said,
Nana, do not do anything of the sort. Okay, no poem, no
Nah,
spoken words. Yeah, she don't want that
listen,
stuff.
listen. I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying come as a normal human being. Like, just hi, introduce yourself. My name is ... I think you're gorgeous. Blah blah blah. Whatever else you want to include. I feel like all of this.
Maybe I can change your life.
Yeah, like. If he knows, only because like there's been stuff that have popped up that I just think is so ridiculous. Like let me not even say anything. I have to leave it because I know that these people are real people at the end of the day, so I can't even be out here cussing them like that. So yeah, let me just leave it at that.
No, don't leave it there. We want to know.
Someone said at least it's better than God's told me you are my wife. That's happened too. Don't get me. Listen.
I was only joking when I did that video.
Look at it. Shared.
On social media. Okay, so Nana, are you telling me you're never gonna shoot your shot on social media? Is that what you're telling me?
I don't think I would. I feel like
what I'm seeing in the comments is some strategies, but yeah, like
you have to strategize this life.
Record
what strategy
and the stories.
In this life, you must strategize.
Get a burner account and screenshot. Don't slide, just pre his stories. So as you pre his stories, obviously they see who's pre and they're like, oh, who's this pre of my story? And then they position it.
I mean, we do that, guys.
Yourself well in it.
Yeah, positioning is different from shooting. Maybe position, you know what I'm saying? Like if he, you know, similar to myself, obviously social media started and sparked the flame for you. So I mean, did you make the first move? Did he make the first move?
No. I didn't make the first move.
Are you sure?
I don't know why I say it like that. Do you know why? Like the way I was actually like, no, as in absolutely not. I didn't make the first move. And I don't know anybody who has made the first move, is really the truth of the matter. So I cannot speak about what it's like for a woman to make the first move because I've never done that.
I hear that.
I'm sorry. I feel like I should give you more, but the truth is I haven't done it. Right. And you know what? I'm sure I wouldn't. If I did make a first move, or conversations I've had about girls making a first move, it's been. I think the consensus came to the girl wouldn't generally be like, "Hey, you're buff." Like in my side,
okay,
we wouldn't come with your buff. I'm feeling you. It will just be maybe, like you say, replying to their Insta story or replying to their something that they've posted, and just having general conversation. Legit, exactly. Just being like Nana said, just being a normal person. If they said something, you reply, blah blah blah. And then you just the conversations continue from there. And then when you feel more confident, and if boys really shine their eyes well, and looked, they would see the signals or whatever, and then pick up on it, and then it's cool.
We can't see no signals when you're not making no signals.
No, but women make very clear signals.
What signals are you making out there? No. On social media. Social media, what signals are you showing me? In fact, let's give us some tastings. If you like my picture.
If we follow each other on Instagram, that's enough of a signal. Thank you very much.
Wow. You made this like what I do.
We're messing about. There are women that are out there that feel like liking a picture or whatever, or commenting is them shooting their shot. I do feel like with someone.
Okay, signal. Okay, maybe not shooting shot. Signal. What kind of signals are you going to give us so we know? Give us some of the tea. We need to know so we can know how to move on social media.
I don't think it's even like signals, like the consistent conversation, the banter. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like,
Okay, before the conversation
I
happens,
don't
are you guys
think
going to show a signal?
that
Could
before the
do.
conversation.
Yeah, before we entered
I
into the
don't
DMs,
know. I don't know about
are
all
you
of that. I
you
don't
see
feel
his
like a signal is like,
profile? He's good looking,
Yeah,
you look
listen,
right
you
angled.
know what? You could just go through his profile and start liking every single picture. That's how you know. Tap, 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 tap,
from the
tap.
beginning. Double tap
From
everything.
the beginning.
Everything, even from 2012. The pictures from 2012.
And then it was
But I
Okay,
legit
so
think that it's not signals isn't like, oh, there's a secret emoji that you show that means you're interested. I think signals come from building that rapport, and you have that confidence to be whatever if it, whether it's flirtatious, bantering them, whatever. Do you know what I mean?
mm,
And then do you know like it's not a secret thing that you now do. Oh yeah, this emoji showed up, I showed you this emoji, so that means I'm feeling you. I liked one picture, so obviously you should know. Oh, we follow each other, obviously you should know that that's my signal. We're not that crazy. I know you lot want us to be. I know you don't want to put forward this narrative that we're
narrative
crazy,
that
but we're not. Do you know what I mean?
fair enough. I was just hoping to see if there's some signals that we can pick up on and, pass it on like it's a trade. But hey, so no, I get that. I get that. Okay, so we're coming to the end of our conversation. It's been 2 hours, guys. So you you got to eat and stuff. I don't want you to be fast
I got
now.
work tomorrow.
You got work tomorrow. Look at that. Guys, please plug your podcasts. I say podcast. And say your final goodbyes.
Why are you doing this?
So guys, because
Nana's actually a nuisance. You're actually a nuisance. I don't even know why I was copying you. Even me, shame on me for copying you.
So guys, our podcast is Gsinapod. We're Gsinapod on all platforms. That's Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts. You get more of this conversation. You get more banter, more jokes. Definitely follow us. Definitely subscribe. Definitely share. Because I feel like we do have conversations that need to be had amongst friendship groups and like family and stuff like that. So definitely tune in and have a listen to what we have to say. You might find out something that you didn't know before. You might find new information. You might educate yourself. You might just walk away with something really, really funny and laugh. Yeah, Gsinapod, Gsinapod, like Kojo spelled it on all podcast platforms. Yeah.
I think also, I want you to know that our most recent episode, the title is courtesy of Kojo himself.
Right.
It is Women Are Not Trash, They Are Bins.
Right.
Okay.
Women are not trash, they are bins. That title was from
Kojo, what Kojo has to say on the fact that women are bins.
Yeah.
Guys, they're lying on my name.
Go and see your friend, dog. Go and see your
lying on my name. Girls, you know I would never. Girls, you know I would never. My audience know I would never speak about my woman like that. I love my woman.
Yeah, there's no point because in the first 30 seconds of that episode, he's yelling. He's like,
I
have no clue. Your Honor, I have no clue. I thought they're talking about this defamation of character.
Listen, and then come back for him later. But next week when he does a live, come back for him, basically.
I don't know who that is. It's probably a twin of mine.
Ask him, question him.
I don't know who said women are not trash, but they're bins. I don't know who said that.
It was you. And the crazy thing is, I actually have it on recording. I just cut that bit out. So no,
see?
Actually, I didn't.
Suddenly she cut it out. Suddenly
there.
she cut it out. So evidently,
I didn't cut it out. It's there. It's there.
It's there.
Fiona, it's not me, Fiona. Trust me.
Fiona, go and listen. I promise. Listen.
It's not
but
me.
Yeah, it would be nice to hear.
Check it out.
Yeah, it would be nice to hear everybody's opinion and everyone's thoughts on it. So yeah, check it out.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much for listening to Little Black Book. You know what I'm saying? The live was silent, and I was with Gsinapod, Nana and Iffy today. You know what, guys? Next week I'll have some other special guests on. It's been nice, doing it myself, but it's nice to get other people on and get their opinions, get their thoughts. I've heard you did guys suggest last week some people, so I'm going to be in contact with them. Hopefully, I can get them in next week or the week after as well, to discuss more around dating and relationships. So, guys, you already know what time it is, baby. All right, it's Little Black Book. You know what time it is, guys. It's been beautiful. It's been fun, and we gotta go. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks
Say
for
lax
having us.
loaded.
Bye,
Enjoyed
guys. Take care.
See you later, guys.